Is the new CZ Shadow 2 Compact a good concealed carry gun for you? We're gonna figure that out in this video. This is a first looks video, not a full review video going over my thoughts after thousands of rounds. I've just got in this handgun. I put 150 rounds through it, and I'm gonna go over all the parts, everything about the gun since it's a brand new gun, and give you my initial thoughts. So let's go over the elephant in the room and talk about, is this a concealed carry option? The short answer is yes. This is designed for concealed carry, but a lot of people are worried about is the fact that there is not a firing pin block in here or a decocking lever. And we're gonna go over a couple ways that you can maybe go around that, or is it really even a problem? Before we get too far into this video, please hit the like button if you enjoy my content, and if you find my stuff helpful, please hit the subscribe button. Those things help a ton. A couple sponsors of today's video is Brownells and 945 Industries. Brownells, you can use code TA10 to save 10% off on orders at $150 or more, and you guys can save a ton of money doing that, so I highly recommend you take advantage of that. And then 945 Industries makes this sling slash fanny pack, and you have access to your concealed carry setup here. This is a detachable holster, so you're able to take that off, but it does come with the actual bag itself. So when you go to order it, you pick what gun you want, and this comes as a whole. As you guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, I really like carrying in this way, especially in the summertime when I'm wearing sweats or shorts or I'm with the kids at the park. I want to be able to play and enjoy my time with them, and sometimes carrying with a belt isn't always my favorite. So I really like carrying in this fashion, and you can carry more supplies with you as well. You have an admin pouch here in the front, admin pouch in the back, and you have this detachable pouch on the side here that you can carry medical, extra mag, flashlight. If you're a dad, diapers. You have a lot of options with that, but you can also just attach it if you don't want to run it, and you can just run this one right here. But make sure you guys check them out, and I appreciate the companies for sponsoring the video. So why is not having those couple things a concern for some people when purchasing this gun for concealed carry? So from what I can understand, there's an incident where a Shadow 2 was dropped at a competition shoot and the gun ended up firing. Now what also was done to that Shadow 2 was the fact that there was an extended firing pin. So there was some modification to the gun. I was not there. I don't know all the details of the story. All I know is the gun did drop or fire when it was dropped, and the gun did have modifications to it. So was it because of the modifications? Possibly. And was it because the gun just dropped? Absolutely possible as well. But from what I understand, these are drop safe from the stock configuration, so that is for you to make your own decision on. Now, when it comes to carrying this without a decocking lever or without a firing pin safety, there are a couple ways that you can carry this gun. So if you want to, this is a double action and single action. What that means is you are able to shoot the gun in single action with it cocked. The trigger press is a lot lighter, and you can shoot it that way. Or what is really neat is you can shoot it like this in double action as well. It's a longer pull, but it is actually fairly comfortable, smooth, and it is pretty predictable. So what you can do is you can either carry this full cocked, and then you can just put the safety on. You can run this in a half cock configuration with the safety on, or you can run this completely decompressed, and then you can just have one in the chamber, and then your first round is just gonna be a double action, so you have to know you're gonna have a longer trigger pull, but then it's gonna go into a single action after that, and then you're gonna have a much shorter trigger pull, and it will be lighter. So that was the long answer, but again, the short answer, yes, this is a concealed carry option. It just depends how you want to carry it. And if not having a decocking lever or a firing pin safety is a no-go for you, then that makes this decision very easy. So this is not a concealed carry option for those of you that think that way. And then for those of you that don't think those are an absolute must-have, then this is a very good concealed carry contender. And we're gonna go over all the features here to hopefully answer more of those questions for you. So now let's break this gun down, go over all the features, and talk about the gun itself and how it shoots. The very first thing you're gonna notice about this gun, I think everyone notices, is how good looking this gun is. This is a beautiful gun. There's a lot of guns out there, some behind me, and you look at it and you're like, yeah, it's a sweet gun, that's cool, I like it. But this thing is like a piece of art. Like, I absolutely love what CZ has done with it. I love what CZ has done with the ergonomics, the design, the grip colors, the textures. I like the fact that they put the bottom rail here. You can put your flashlights on if you want to. I'm very big about always having a flashlight on my concealed carry guns. I think that's important because bad things happen at night. And if not, always making sure you have a handheld. These sights on this are very nice. You got a front fiber optic sight and then a blacked out rear. They are adjustable, and you have an optics plate. So this runs the same optics plate as the Shadows do as well. So if you already have those, you're gonna have the same plates and you can use those as well. They all are gonna have to run a plate. So it doesn't have like a cut for one type, but plate for the rest. It's just a cut, and then you're gonna have to get a plate for every single optic you run. And then you can get those through CZ if you want. I'm sure there's gonna be some aftermarket plates coming out here very soon. But as for sights, they are very nice, especially for concealed carry. I like the blacked out rear and the fiber optic front. I think that's a very good, accurate sight, and CZ does a good job. I mean, if you already have a CZ, you're going to be very comfortable with this gun because it's going to have all the features that you already really know and love, just in a more condensed size. Now for your slide, it is going to be very, very thin, as you can tell, and that is that same design CZ has. You've got your rails on the inside, so it's able to bring everything down, just have a really compact look and that unique look that CZ has. So you have front serrations here, so you can manipulate that from the front if you would like. You have back serrations as well. Coming down, that is very easy to manipulate, and I like that. What isn't super easy to manipulate is your safety. Those are pretty small. I like the fact that they're out of the way, but as I was shooting and just trying to go back and forth from flicking it, I did notice it was a little hard to hit just because of how thin they were. So there's always a debate on, do you want your safeties to be really easily accessible and large? This way they're not easy to touch or hit, or if you're pulling it out, you don't accidentally hit it on or off. But these were a little hard for me to grab. I had to be a little bit more deliberate when using them, but these are ambidextrous, so you can work that on either side. That is the only thing that's ambidextrous about this. Your mag release is here on the left side, which is actually probably one of the best design mag releases I've ever used. It's very easy to manipulate, it looks very good, and it doesn't get in your way. So now let's go down and talk about the trigger. Very nice trigger, very, very comfortable. When you think of a compact gun, you usually think triggers are usually a little bit worse. You'd think it's a little bit harder, stiffer, maybe a little bit more poundage to it, but it is very, very comparable to your Shadow 2. It's probably, honestly, the same trigger, if not very, very similar. But trigger's great, especially in the single action. The double action is really nice. It obviously has a very, very heavy pull when you're comparing it to your single action because you're having to go all the way back, but it doesn't have like a lot of like creeps where it's like skipping, I would say. It is very smooth going back, and it honestly is predictable. So I have been practicing on the double action because that's how I would carry it. I'd probably just carry it one in the chamber on the double action, then just make sure to remember that I have to pull back fully for my first shot, and then it'll go into the single action. But the trigger is fantastic, and very happy with it for a compact gun. Now let's go into the grip. The texture is so good on this, and the ergonomics are phenomenal. The first time I put this in my hand and shot it, so happy with it. Very, very happy. CZ has it down. Now, I will say, when it comes to like grips and angles and all those things, it really comes down to a personal preference. My hands are different than yours. How you grip the gun's a little bit different than mine. But for me, it's almost like I put my hand on a mold and then let go of it, and they like designed it around my hand. I just absolutely love the way this gun feels in my hand. And most CZs are like that for me. So I am very comfortable with CZ guns. I love the way they feel in my hand. This has a really, really good weight to it. The CZ Shadow is a little bit heavier, which I'm okay with, the full size, just because it's more of a competition gun. So I would like it a little bit heavier, honestly, because it's keeps recoil down a little bit. But this weight-wise feels very, very comfortable in my hand. I'm gonna shoot more rounds through. I don't ever carry a gun within the first like 500 rounds. I always gotta break a gun and make sure it's going to function good. Like I said, I have 150 rounds through this so far, 0 malfunctions, and it shoots really good. I mean, if you're a CZ shooter and you're comfortable with these guns, you're gonna really like this. It's not snappy. It's not uncomfortable to shoot like you would think with a lot of compact guns. They just really did a good job with the design. I don't want to beat it with a dead horse and say that over and over, but I just really like how this gun feels in your hand. And for those of you that have handled one or tried one before, go to the gun store and you've picked one up, or you have one and you shoot it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is a very comfortable gun, and it shoots well. So now going to our magazine, we have a 15 round double stack magazine, and I can absolutely see them getting an extension place in here, make it 17, maybe a little bit more, but that's good. I think anywhere from like 13 on is a really good concealed carry capacity. Anything lower than that, when you're looking like 10, 7s, start to think a little bit like, okay, well, you know, what else does this gun have to offer? There are better out there, especially now with size-wise. You can get a lot more rounds in a gun in a smaller compact size because of the new innovation that's come out. So you're seeing really small guns hold 17, 15. So 15 rounds, I'm very comfortable with for a concealed carry gun. So is this a gun that I'll conceal carry? The answer is, it is a gun I would absolutely consider a concealed carry and would as long as everything passes my testing over the 500 to 1,000 round mark. Once I get past the break-in period, it continues to function well, and I don't see it not functioning well, because it's my previous CZs that I've had that share a lot of the features of this, like the TS2 and the DWX. You know, they're very similar. I've had no issues with or malfunction, so I don't see why this would be any different. It is not like it's a completely new design, so it's been a design that's been proven so far. So I would imagine that it's gonna function just fine over the course of more rounds that I'm gonna put through it. I do wanna get an optic for this, because I'll probably end up putting like an RMR or something on here, because I think that'd be a good fit for this gun. There's your double action. Go here, your trigger moves back a little bit, so it's a little bit less of a creep, not a lot, but a tiny amount, and then there's your single action. So just as a visual for those of you that would like to see the difference, but that is how I'll carry it. The biggest thing that you're just gonna have to make sure to do is, once you load your gun, is make sure you're in a safe place, point in a safe direction, decock that hammer, and then put it in that half cock position. You can run your safety that way, and that just gives you another level of protection for those of you that want that. The only thing I'll mention is, if you are somebody that runs like a Glock or a SIG that does not have a safety like this, make sure you're going from the draw, dropping your safety, and then engaging from that double action. Don't go out to the range and run everything from single action and be like, man, I'm a fantastic shot with this thing. And then when you actually have to use your gun and you're here, and then your safety's on because you're at a half cock, and you draw your gun, and maybe this time you remember to do your safety or you forget, and then you go to pull that trigger, and it's now a much longer trigger pull than you figured, and now you're dipping down and your shot's dropping. So make sure you train in whatever configuration you're going to carry this in. Hope this video was able to help you make a better purchase decision, decide if this is the gun you want or can still carry, or maybe you want to pass and you're not quite sure, or you want to wait until the full review comes out to see how everything is and see if it's passed all my further testing. If you guys are looking to help out the channel, things I do here, there's a couple ways to do that down in the description. There's a link to my link tree. Anything you use purchasing those links does help out the channel, and there's some discount codes from companies that I trust down in the description, like Safari Land, Cloud Defensive, Brownells. Get down there, save some money, and get yourself some cool stuff. A couple companies that support me, and the things I do here are Brownells, Howitzer, and Hold Up Display. Hold Up Display makes these amazing racks behind me. Brownells, use code TA10 to save 10% off $150 or more. I highly recommend you take advantage of that. And Howitzer makes this great clothing, and wear their stuff all the time. Wear their hats, wear their socks, wear their shoes, wear their pants, wear their shirts, wear it all. I love their stuff. So you guys can check them out. They donate 5% of proceeds to charity, which is really cool. Other than that, guys, thank you so much, and I appreciate you all.